This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Party promoters killed in Kingston car crash. 2 men died from injuries they sustained in a car crash in downtown Kingston on Friday. The 2 victims have been identified as 23-year-old Caribbean Maritime University student Rodney Lyons of Claremont St. Anne and 22-year-old Antonio Garrick, a former CMU student of Portmore St. Catherine. Garrick and Lyons were also promoters of the popular 5150 party. The corporate communication unit confirmed the incident but was not able to immediately provide details on the circumstances that led to the tragedy. Earlier this year, CMU mourned the death of 20-year-old Janelle Maitland, a third-year student in the Faculty of Shipping and Logistics, who was killed in a crash on Highway 2000. Field hospital to be installed in Maypen as COVID cases continue to rise. A field hospital will be installed in Maypen to provide an additional capacity of 40 beds as the country prepares for a possible surge in coronavirus cases. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Besesa McKenzie made the announcement at the Health Ministry's COVID Conversations digital press conference on Thursday. She said the field hospital is being provided with support from the United States Southern Command. That field hospital is actually in the country and it will be delivered hopefully by the end of this week. And then it takes another 5 to 7 days for setup, and that will give us additional capacity in the southern side of the island, Besesa McKenzie said. We also have a loan arrangement with a private entity and the National Health Fund for 2 additional field hospitals that are in the country, and our instructions are that if the trend continues to go up, we will move immediately to utilize them, she added. Besesa McKenzie said that the occupancy rates at the field hospital, which are being utilized, are low at this time, but with a surge in COVID-19 cases, there will be an increase. She is also urging health facilities to get into preparation mode with medical equipment and supplies to deal with the possible surge in COVID-19 cases. How high we go is where the challenge is, but we do expect the numbers to go up. They should be in that mode now to be looking at what they have prepared to make sure they are ready, she said. The main challenge in this area, of course, is our human resources, because we do know that we have challenge, especially where our nurses are concerned, and especially in activating those high dependency and critical care beds where we do require a higher ratio of staff to patient, she said. COVID-19 cases are rising across the country. On Tuesday, the number of positive COVID-19 cases rose to triple digits for the first time in months, with 122 confirmed cases of the virus. For Wednesday, 138 new cases were recorded, representing a further increase. Man shot dead after being chased by gunman in St. Anne. A 23-year-old man who tried to elude a gunman who chased him in Limehall, St. Anne on Tuesday was shot multiple times and later died. The deceased has been identified as Junior Ferguson. Police reports are that about 7:15 p.m., Ferguson was sitting at a shop in a section of Limehall when he was approached by an armed man who opened gunfire at him. Ferguson ran from his attacker but was pursued and subsequently shot several times. The gunman then fled the area. Ferguson was later pronounced dead at hospital. The police are investigating the incident. Well-known lawyer walks free of charges relating to 19 missing guns. Montego Bay-based attorney Tara Morgan was on Thursday freed of all charges in relation to the loss of 19 firearms and a large quantity of ammunition from a security company. The 36-year-old lawyer, who was a director of the company, is located in Montego Bay, St. James, was charged for failing to secure a place for the storage of the firearms and ammunition. Morgan's parents, Courtney Morgan and Pauline Smith, who are involved in the company, were also charged in the matter. However, they pleaded guilty and were both fined last year. It was reported that on May 25, 2019, the security company was broken into and firearms and ammunition were stolen. Following this, an audit was conducted by officers from the Firearms Licensing Authority. The audit revealed that the premises was not properly secured and was poorly maintained. However, at the trial under cross-examination, Morgan's attorney, Queen's Counsel Peter Champagny, suggested to the main witnesses for the prosecution that, taking all into account, the premises was secured even though the witness had previously stated that it wasn't. The witness agreed with the suggestion. It was further revealed under cross-examination that there were no written regulations governing the specific breaches that covered the areas that gave rise to a view that the premises was not properly secured. At the end of the cross-examination, the prosecution was constrained to offer no further evidence against Morgan. The matter was heard in the Montego Bay Parish Court. Westmoreland pastor stabbed to death, son in custody. The teenage son of a popular Westmoreland pastor has been taken into custody by the police in connection with his stabbing death. Garnet Foster was found with stab wounds at the Petersfield home that he shared with his son. It is reported that early this morning, residents raised an alarm after louder screams were heard coming from the premises. Checks were made and Foster, who preached at the Church of God of the Mountain Assembly in Petersfield, was discovered lying in his bed with multiple stab wounds. He was rushed to the Savannah Lamar Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police were summoned and following an investigation, his son was taken into custody for questioning. 14-year-old boy drowns in St. Anne. The St. Anne police are investigating the drowning death of a teenager in Brownstown on Thursday. He has been identified as 14-year-old Christopher Lynch of Lincoln District, Brownstown, who was a student of Brownstown High School. It is reported that the teenager was at home with his mother, Cherie Ann Hogarth, when he left and went next door to swim in a neighbor's underground tank. At the time, no parent or guardian was at home, with the homeowner's 3 children, all aged below 13, being present. It is reported that, while trying to swim, Christopher got into difficulties and sank to the bottom of the tank and allegedly drowned. The fire department was called and firefighters assisted in draining the tank and retrieved his body. The police say no foul play is suspected at this time. All persons 18 and older eligible for vaccination when program resumes. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says there will be no restrictions on who can get inoculated when the country receives new shipments of COVID-19 vaccines. The announcement comes as the government targets inoculating between 800,000 and 900,000 people by the end of September. The government had developed a priority schedule for administering the vaccines, starting with healthcare workers and seniors. However, during a Ministry of Health media briefing Thursday evening, Dr. Tufton said the plan would be changed to open up the vaccination program to all who qualify, in this instance, persons over 18. Dr. Tufton said the new plan will include private doctors administering the vaccines so that the ambitious target can be met. He said the government should have more definite information next week on when the additional vaccine shipments will arrive. The government is expecting donations from the US and the UK and vaccines purchased through African Medical Supply Platform. The health minister said about 300,833 people have so far received at least the first shot of the AstraZeneca vaccine, while 122,000 people have received a second dose. 144 new COVID-19 cases, 1 more death. Jamaica has recorded 1 more COVID-19 fatality, pushing the tally to 1,168. The deceased is a 57-year-old man from St. James, and 2 more fatalities are under investigation, moving the figure to 103. Meanwhile, there were 144 new cases, with ages ranging from 4 days to 86 years, pushing the total to 51,686, with 3,368 being active. Of the new cases, 83 are women and 61 are men. St. Anne dominates the new cases with 33 being recorded, followed by Kingston and St. Andrew with 29, and then St. Catherine with 19. A total of 2,140 tests were conducted. The country's positivity rate stands at 11.2%. In the meantime, there were 21 more recoveries, increasing the total to 46,794. Some 129 persons are in hospital, with 34 being moderately ill and 19 critically ill. 6 persons are in government quarantine, while 43,281 are at home. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.